Look at that cat.
Hello and welcome.
Oh shit! No. Also, I gotta pee real quick. I'm gonna stop the recording, then pick back up after I potty.
Okay.
It's recording again. He cheated! He tried dancing when I came back. Oh no, is my mic boosted? No. It was great. Where do we leave off though? Combat. Oh, the combat with the elixirs. Yeah, you can use potions instead. Yeah.
You can
I
use
was gonna say,
potions instead of the elixirs, and it'll get you out of the danger. But yeah, the tutorial didn't tell you that.
I think I knew that because I don't remember running into the tutorial. Maybe. It's been a long
I
time.
think the
Like 3
tutorial
years.
was optional. Like you can
Yeah.
just jump into the game not knowing the battle system, and it's fine.
I just don't remember. Actually, I do kind of remember Kid Noctis a little bit. I was gonna say like Kingdom Hearts 3 also just wears on you because it's just run into Heartless, fucking giant flashy Disney attacks. Your sword evolves like twice. Or evolves like once, and then once it runs out of its limit or something, it does a mega attack. Just so bland for a game that took that long. 15 felt bland for a game that took that long.
Yeah.
You're on a train again.
What?
That happens in 15. You're on a train. Just
Yep.
like in 7. It felt kind of similar.
Are you ever on a train in Kingdom Hearts?
You're on a roller coaster when you do a stupid Disney attack. You like fly up. You're flying around on a track. Oh yeah, I think it is a train. You're just blowing shit up, and then you like run the train into the enemy or some dumb thing. I don't know. Game's bad. It's okay. I have like no desire to play it again.
I don't even want to try the DLC chapters for 15. Like,
Yeah, I feel that same way about 3.
people are telling me that'll fill in the gaps of the story, and I'm like, I don't care. I really don't
Yeah.
care.
You can't fill in gaps with his stories. That's the problem. They're because he just makes these whimsical decisions out of nowhere and just like at the end of at the end of Final Fantasy VII, doesn't Sephiroth get like the fuck killed out of him?
Mhm.
Don't you erase him?
More or less, yeah.
Because there's that fight, and then after like the fight with the big many-winged meat monster, after you kill all those parts and they revive and kill him again and kill him, you kill him in his like real form inside like his soul or some shit, right?
Something to that effect, yeah.
Yeah, like Seth or Cloud like Omni slashes the fuck out of him and just finally ends him. But then like no, his spirit's inside the life stream.
Yeah, he basically jizzed inside the life force of the planet, and that allowed him to come back. He Naraku'd that shit.
He did. And then they're not clear on what geostigma is. They're like,
Doesn't matter.
it's either the planet punishing you, or it's, I guess, people having Genova cells in them. But then Sephiroth comes back, and he's like, no, it's me.
Yeah.
So, like, it
But
was
that
either
doesn't
the
even have anything to do with Nomura. That's just
But I thought he directed and wrote all that
Did he?
poo-poo. Yeah, Advent Children's his.
What?
Yeah, Advent Children is Nomura's movie. He wanted to make it. That's why I was saying when Square Enix was formed, like when they merged, he's like, this is my chance. We're doing this. He wanted to make that movie. That's why the plot makes no fucking sense. That's why the kids get kidnapped and brainwashed, and they're just, there's no actual use for them.
there's somebody else credited as a screenplay, writer,
Yeah, I figured. He probably didn't flesh
it's,
out.
directed by Tetsuya Nomura.
Yep.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why it makes no sense. And that's why, like, one thing I've been wondering is what's stopping Sephiroth from coming back again? Like, how? Because they never explain where Kadaj and these jerks come from. I guess they're known as the remnants of Sephiroth. I don't remember them calling themselves that in the movie. Somebody called them that. And what's
Fans
stopping more
after the fact, I
remnants?
guess.
Yeah. Like, how do we know there aren't like 6 more of these assholes out there?
There could
And
be.
Sephiroth,
Doesn't
you
matter.
never, yeah, and like, you never actually see Genova's head. Like, you just see that weird little box that couldn't even have a full head in it. But they could just take like her finger and merge with that and become Sephiroth. And I
Doesn't
guess
matter.
his big plan was like, I'm gonna take over the planet using the negative life stream, which is something Kadaj did to like use to brainwash the children, and Sephiroth was gonna use it, but it had like, I think the people that died from Geostigma, or now I'm just confusing it with 7 Remake.
He needs
Like
the
that,
anti-life equation.
it's kind of what he had. That's like, because he's like, I'm Geostigma, it's me, I did it. Now I'm gonna take over the planet with it and fly the planet around the universe until I crash it into a planet I like. Like, why? I guess he was insane, but yeah, it's dumb. I guess I liked it, but don't expect much from the plot.
It's dumb, but I liked it.
Yeah, because of the fights, basically. The fights still hold up pretty well, considering they're from 2005.
Yeah.
And even the animation, like, holds up pretty well.
No,
Like, it actually is comparable.
that's one thing you always gotta give, Square credit for is the animations of everything.
Yeah,
Like,
their
they're
movies
always
are
ahead of their
insane.
time when they come out, and they hold up pretty solid.
Yeah, because I remember 12 looked nuts when it came out. Like, it's cinematics.
Like,
Like, Disney's
10
catching up.
like, 10 blew people's minds when it came out.
Yeah, that's what inspired Nomura to make Advent Children, was that. I want to play that. I want to play one that's not Final Fantasy Nomura. I hope that's not him.
One that's free of the Nomura stank.
Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't.
Play
I don't even know how.
Dissidia.
Isn't that a 7 thing? No, that's the one with all of them, right?
It's a Final Fantasy crossover fighting game.
Yeah. Did people like that?
I don't know.
I mean, you can finally have Cloud and Leon fight. Isn't that a thing people wanted?
I guess. Because there's diehard fans of both 7 and 8.
Yeah. I want to play 8, but that's only because I liked Leon. And I liked his Keyblade he gives you.
Well, if you wanna play 8, his name's not Leon, it's Squall.
Oh, that's right. Isn't that the name he gives himself because he's emo about some shit? Just like Cloud was?
In Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, his name is only Leon in Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why? Why did they take the protagonist of 8 and have him name himself? Like, explain away his real name.
Dude, I don't know.
They never really explain what the Final Fantasy dudes are doing in Kingdom Hearts either. I think they all come from Hollow Bastion. Like, they're all just residents there. And even though they seem to have their own stories coming from their games, that's not them.
And how come it only seems to be characters after Final Fantasy, like, 7 and onward?
Because it's all Nomura knows and cares about.
He
They
doesn't
probably
care
are.
about the characters from 1 through 6.
No, I don't think so. No, it's really only like 7 and 8 people, I think, that show up. And then in Kingdom Hearts
10.
3, they're banned.
There's
And 10?
yeah.
Oh,
On
those fairies.
what?
Those 3 fairy people that show up in 2.
I was gonna mention the kids on what, Destiny Island in the beginning of the first one.
Oh.
It was Titus and Waka and whoever else.
Oh, that's the heroes, isn't it?
Uh-huh. It's
As
the main
Babs.
trio of 10.
Okay. And they're babies.
Yeah, for some reason.
Do you ever see them as kids in 10?
Not that I recall.
They just chibied them. Hello, cat. Yeah.
And I think there's some representative from Final Fantasy IX in it. I think Vivi, the black mage,
Hmm.
I think he appears in some of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I thought Vivi was in like all of them in some
Well,
form.
he's based on the black mage from the first one, but I think specifically it's Vivi from 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't really hear much about 9. I've never heard anything about 9.
It's the
It's
one
always
that sort
set.
of slipped through the cracks. It was like a return to the form for Final Fantasy before Square realized, nope, 7 basically set the tone for the franchise going forward.
Oh, so it was more like a classic JRPG?
Yeah, it was more in tone with 1 through 6.
Okay. Yeah, because I've never heard about 9. I just never dawned on me. I hear about 7, 8, and then 10 and beyond. And that's it. Like, there was a 9. Was it a
Yep.
PlayStation game?
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 was the first PS2 game.
Yes.
Did that get a Switch release? I feel like all of them got some kind of re-release.
I know 7 and 8 remastered are on Switch. I know 10 and 10.2 are on Switch.
Okay.
And I know uh Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition is on Switch.
There's another 15 game. I remember you listing all the other franchise installments. I don't remember hearing a Pocket thing.
Oh,
What?
I didn't know you were unaware of Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
I honestly only thought there was like 15 and then some weird mobile games or some crap here and there.
15 is like a PS1 demake of 15.
Why?
I don't know.
Is
Like,
it
look it up. Look it up right now. Like, look up a trailer for this shit.
okay? Pocket Edition. First 20 minutes of Final Fantasy Pocket Edition. Launch trailer.
Peggy 12.
Ugh! Let me... Window capture. Oh, I should be able to get window capture to work. Boom. The window capture just covered you. Blow it up.
The decreed hour is come. Take your leave
This.
and go in the grace
I
of
don't
the
think I'll
gods.
watch the whole thing because I forgot you can't see it. Oh, it's not even.
Insomnia. False.
That looks.
What?
Oh, that's
This your idea of a joke?
There was an attack.
Michelangelo Turtle.
The Imperial Army has
from
taken the
15.
Crown City.
Oh, this really is okay.
Have faith.
Yeah, I see it. They're going through like the whole plot. but with like weird cel-shaded Wind Waker looking graphics.
Let's go.
Chocobo. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Well, now it's not going back to... Are you still there? I think I accidentally hung up, but it's still recording. I have to... How the hell did that happen? Hold, please, while I figure out what the hell just happened to the call. It fucking ruined the call somehow. Final Fantasy 15 Remake just killed the call. Cursed. Yeah, that basically just looked like fucking cel-shading Wind Waker Final Fantasy 15, and it was weird seeing it fucking demade like that, but still being the same game. It kind of did that with the other Final Fantasies 1 through 6. Like, remade them, but with that style. Okay, I'm gonna try and get the call back. Good.
Good.
That was the Final Fantasy 15 remake cursing the cast.
It broke my internet.
Yeah. I was just saying well, cuz I tried to go a little bit while restoring things, and it was just that was weird. I was like, that's like the weird remake style they've done 1 through 6 with. And then but it was just odd seeing major story points in that weird style. I'm almost tempted to play the game that way.
Might as well. But I mean, if you already own, the launch version.
It's pooping out a little bit. It's
What
the
is?
curse. The internet.
Oh no.
Wait, it seems okay, it seems fine in short bursts. For a minute you were turning into a robot. Oh no! Oh, that dance again that you tried to bullshit me with. I know you were faking and not doing it the whole time.
No.
I'm rubbing Kittler. I guess the moral of the story, though, is like all the plots are confusing as fuck, and the gameplay is kind of mediocre at best and wears on you.
And Nomura milks it for everything it's worth.
Yeah, he definitely does. Like, they're all of the games that it seems like all the games that he's part of have the biggest sub franchises within them.
Yeah.
Because there's like 6 more installments to 15. There's about 6 or so with 7. And honestly, with as weird as Final Fantasy VII Remake is, just that could have been more of a sequel. If you wanted to do some weird shit with whispers and stuff, they just made a sequel.
How many Kingdom Hearts games do you think there are in total?
Probably like 20. Yeah, because I forgot all about that having a shit ton of installments.
Oh boy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sweet Jesus. Are we counting the final mixes since they're sold as separate games?
I guess you can. Yeah.
Oh my god.
How many?
Uh, almost as many as there are Final Fantasies.
So that is like about 20.
Yes, sir.
Was that counting the collections?
Yeah,
Oh. Well, I mean, that's still like releases that are making them millions.
and there's exclusive content on collections as well,
Yeah, like the fucking movie for the phone game. I think
and the
that's the.
movie for 358/2.
Isn't that just all the cutscenes thrown together?
Like completely remastered and with additional scenes added
Oh,
so
I
that
forgot.
it'll make sense.
I gotta watch that. Yeah, and the problem is like, speaking of exclusive content, is like the franchise spans so many different consoles, and before all these collections came out, you would have to get each console to
Oh
get
yeah,
the game on it.
you'd have to hunt down all these different platforms just to get the story of this stupid nonsensical franchise.
And I think that's what pissed everyone off is like people did that, like me, and we didn't get the fucking answer or the resolution to the plot. Like Xehanort died, I guess. That's it.
Yep.
All this ending did was set up a whole new era of like 20 more games.
Yep.
And it's definitely going to span every console in existence.
To put it into perspective, Haley Joel Osment was still relevant when the series began.
Yeah. And by the end of just this story arc, he sounds so different that I thought somebody else was voicing Sora.
Yep.
Like the whole game, I thought they got another voice actor. I was like, man, I guess they tried to have someone similar, and then it turns out it's him.
The PS2 remake of Chain of Memories, that alone was an indication of how past its due date the entire franchise was. Because he
Yeah.
sounded like, a full grown man by the time they decided to do that one.
And it was such a good performance, they did it again for Dream Drop Distance. Have him voice young Sora again.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no throwaway side game.
I mean, like, a lot of the side games you can skip as long as you are willing to, just sort of accept massive story details in like reference in later games.
Yeah, without knowing what the hell they are.
Like you can skip uh Chain of Memories. I did. I didn't have any problem following Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, but
But then like 90% of the plot of the franchise happens between 2 and 3.
yeah. And the major organization behind pretty much everything actually gets like established in Chain of Memories, and half of them get killed.
Yeah, but they allude to that in the exposition dialogue for 2. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, sure.
And honestly, the franchise is so old at this point with such an interconnected story that by the time 3 comes out, you're not going to remember it all.
Mm-mm.
Like, you can try and go back and play all the games, you still won't remember it all.
No, sir.
I played Final Mix 1, Final Mix 2, and Chain of Memories remake like in a row, and I didn't. There's still so much to remember just from those 3.
And if you think that's bad, at least most of Kingdom Hearts story relevant stuff is all across like the same medium being video games, right?
Yeah.
To follow the plot of 15, you have to
Mm,
watch movies, you have to watch a web series, you have to play 2 different types of video games. And
why did
trying to figure out which order to do which is a pain in the ass. Like, if you wanna do it chronologically, you gotta play the 8-bit prequel, right? Then I think you play, like, the first couple chapters of 15 itself, then you watch the movie, then you play a couple more chapters, then you play some of the DLC content, then you play a couple more chapters, more of the DLC content.
Why? Why did it's like he took everything he did with 7 and Kingdom Hearts and just dialed it up.
How I see it is he took a solid story, and instead of giving expansions on it, you know, all these different platforms, he gutted the content out of the good story and separated it across different media platforms.
Leaving each one of them watered down.
Yeah.
And
Everything's incomplete because who cares?
I waited over 10 years for 15, and this is what he does with its story?
Oh,
Like, you know how many,
parts
you
it
know how
out.
many yeah. Like, you know how many PS3s I went through to try and survive so that I'd have one for 15, only for it not to even be on the PS3?
And not even all of it is on the PS4, so
And he did that with 2 games that I waited for. Why?
oh my god.
Kingdom Hearts 2 ended in 2004 or 5? When did that come out? We were in high school.
Yeah, we were in high school, that's all I remember.
I think it came out. Oh, Ben got it in like 2005. I think it came out around 2004 that
Something like
time.
that.
Took like 2 or 3 years between 1 and 2. And then fucking Birth by Sleep even got delayed. That came out in like 2012. Or maybe that was 2008. I got it in 2012. Yeah, it was like 2010 or something it came out. That took about 5 years at least for that game to come out.
Mhm.
Fucking PSP game, no less.
Which is the one that was, teased at the end of 2.
Yeah, which nobody really knew that for a long time. We're like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, nope. This is another one of them side games that has a bunch of plot important shit in it. Don't skip it. Buy a PSP, asshole. Little did we know, all the games would be re-released 1,000 times on the PS4.
Yep, because, Kingdom Hearts 3's development was running way over budget, so they needed more money, so they're like, "Here, buy these games again."
I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they did it.
I'm pretty sure that's why they did it.
Yeah, it's just not, it wasn't worth the wait. It's not worth buying all of them again. I guess it'd be nice to have them all in one console if you ever feel like sitting down and playing them all. Good luck not getting burnt out by the end.
Like, how much Nomura stank can you put up with before you just give up?
And let's not forget that, like, well, I guess the PS3 versions of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, I think you can switch to easy mode because their normal mode is the hard mode from the originals, which I didn't find out till I was getting my ass kicked a lot by bosses. Then someone was like, "Yeah, you're playing hero mode on the original PS2 version, basically." But I guess you can go back to easy mode because if that's the easiest those get, you're fucked. Because it takes a lot of patience, and those games already take a lot of patience.
They try a lot of patience.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to what happens with 7's remake. Like, are we gonna get a bunch of handheld games along the way
Yep.
that have more story shit?
Yep. We're gonna get a spin-off that gives, like, all of Kite Sith's background, and
Oh no.
Sid is gonna get his own movie, and
And like, are they gonna try and tie this in with Advent Children and the original games somehow, or is this? I don't
I
know.
mean, as I understand it, because I think you're already at the point where it should be kind of obvious. Uh, this remake timeline is separate from the original timeline.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. Like
Oh.
something is happening that's making the timeline of events play out differently.
Oh, so this is time. There's some time travel bullshit involved.
I guess. It's not super clear because it's a Nomura game.
So this is part of the main story, but things shifted it,
Like
like
I
the Abrams
think,
movies.
as I understand it, the Whispers are trying to keep the timeline in order, which is why they do dumb shit like save Barrett and kill Biggs.
Oh, you mean Wedge when they dump him
Yeah,
out the window?
yeah.
Oh. Okay. So that. Oh. What the fuck is happening to make things happen differently then?
I don't know.
Oh no, we're gonna find out in 20 years, and it won't be clear.
Yeah.
Xehanort.
Yep.
It was Xehanort.
I think it's because Red 13 became aware of the established timeline, and he's like, "This is what'll happen if we don't succeed." Do you remember that part?
Yeah, and they showed it was either a clip from Advent Children or a remake of that clip. He's running with his babies
Right.
to go see ruined Midgar.
Right. I think that's from the ending of 7, I think.
Oh, it is when they see the Shinra building all dead and stuff.
Right. So
'Cause
I
that's what
think
actually.
because they became aware of future events, that somehow screwed up the timeline.
So the past somehow just became aware of the future and now is trying to happen differently, and the Whispers are like, no, gotta happen this way.
Yes. That's my understanding of how it's playing out.
This sounds like a Nomura story.
Yeah.
So what's gonna make them? What made them aware?
I don't know.
Because they weren't aware the first time around, and now they so. Oh no! Does that mean that they've undone Final Fantasy VII as we know it, or is this going to be an alternate timeline?
It's in the same boat as the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies.
Oh, so it made another timeline.
Sure. Maybe, I don't know.
What the fuck?
They're not overly clear on it, but they're establishing that the original timeline is the canon one.
And this is all shit that spiraled off from it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just remake the fucking game?
I don't know. Because I feel like it would have been too easy for people to nitpick a 1-to-1 remake, whereas once you get over the shock of this isn't the same timeline, like maybe people will accept it on its own.
Cheating.
Yeah, kind of.
Cheating to avoid criticism. That's what I always hated about the Abrams movies is he did that to so he wouldn't have to like fit in with the original timeline.
Yeah.
Great. That means there's all kinds of room for 20 more installments and a whole reboot of the franchise to allow a new wave Final Fantasy VII. It's like Sephiroth coming back and being milked.
Yeah.
So what's better, the remake or 7?
What?
Original 7 or rebuild 7?
I don't know.
I hear a lot of people are saying you have to play both because they're so different.
Yeah, from what I understand from people who have, you know, enjoyed both of them. They say it's not the remake isn't better, but it's a good companion piece too.
That sounds confusing,
Yeah,
which is very fitting.
because Nomura stank.
Anybody else complain about that fucking dragon ending the game?
Not that I've heard.
Because I don't know what I could have done differently. Maybe healed while it was doing it, but I thought I was in a cinematic thing. But then it sent a giant laser meteor at me and blew everything up. And then started finishing me off. I
Yeah,
look forward to that. There's nothing I can do to level up either. I'm stuck in that fight.
yeah.
We in the end game, boys. Heck butt. So I guess to sum it all up, Nomura bad. Game's confusing.
Nomura hideously overrated.
Yeah.
Nomura believe he much better at job than he is.
I don't think he cares. I think he just likes making shit that's out there.
Yeah,
I don't think he's out there inflating his ego. I think he's just like, I'm gonna make this confusing fucking story. And then he does.
but that still draws us back to the Dark Souls slash Bloodborne, director. Like, he makes his stories confusing to a degree on purpose,
Yeah.
and he knows enough of what he's doing to make it work.
Yeah. He tells like a definite narrative. The only thing that's making his confusing is that you have to find the story within the game because he didn't want to tell it.
Right.
Whereas Nomura is flat out telling you his story and it's fucking confusing no matter what you do. There's
He writes
nothing
the stories while on a shitload of drugs, and you have
he
to have a
must.
coke-addled brain to follow it.
Yeah, because he has like interesting ideas, but then he doesn't know how to resolve them.
Yeah. Which brings us back to mystery boxes and J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect analogy. Introduce something and then like, fuck it. I feel like with Nomura though, he ended it in a way that's just gonna keep it going until he has to have a fucking answer. Like, no, you can't just keep introducing new elements and then a new trilogy to explain that element. There's an ending somewhere. Or is he just planning on death taking him and that's that?
It just feels like there's no one reining him back.
Now there's not. He's made Squeenix too much money to be reined back.
He needs somebody that will tell him no. He needs some sort of supervision.
Yeah, I feel like he needs the supervision Kojima got. Where they
Yeah.
just straight up fired him because he was not listening to them. I think Nomura needs that. They're like, hey, stop taking forever to make games. And finish this, please.
Wouldn't
Like,
that be a novel concept?
Because I feel like Kojima didn't need that, and Nomura does. Because,
Like,
I mean, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, like the Metal Gear games, they were finished eventually,
Yeah,
for the most
they
part.
didn't. None of them took like 20 years.
I mean, yeah, Phantom Pain was grossly over budget and overdue, but
Yeah. But he was actually working on that the whole time. He just kept
right.
adding stuff to it and making a giant world.
And when you play it, it's like what there is well done. Like
Mhm.
the game controls beautifully. Like the story as sparse as it is, because it didn't get to get finished,
Yeah.
it's really well done. Then
Yeah,
you
and there
play
is like a
Final Fantasy
narrative.
15 with its mostly empty open world and
Yeah.
like missing key scenes throughout the story, and you're just like, where's the emotional impact actually supposed to be here?
And that game had twice the development time and was finished.
I'm not convinced of that.
Well, neither's Nomura, because he keeps releasing installments for it. Well, no, he's back to 7, so that's
Yeah.
happening with 7 again.
He got moved over to Kingdom Hearts 3, and he's like, let me just remake 7.
Yeah, and oh, you know what? That's something I was gonna say earlier that worries me. So, Kingdom Hearts didn't get finished. Like the main story, instead of finishing the main story, a bigger main story was started, and the main story ended up being a small arc of that. So he's still going to be working on Kingdom Hearts while working on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, which means both of those are going to delay each other, and it's going to be 10 years before we see either one. So Kingdom Hearts 4, there's going to be a bunch of like Kingdom Hearts 3.5, Kingdom Hearts, I don't know, Birth by Sleep kind of shit before Kingdom Hearts 4. And that already is going to be delayed by him working on 7 Part 2. But then there's just going to be installments between the main ones for each franchise, and they'll delay each other while delaying themselves. So yeah, nothing's going to come out for a long time.
Can I just request him make a definitive edition of Final Fantasy 15 where like the story's complete
You
before he
want
does
him?
all this other shit?
No, because then he's going to be juggling all 3 projects and we'll never see anything.
But like, I just want a complete version of 15. Is that too much to ask?
Yes. He doesn't complete stories. That's
have
why they're...
have somebody that's actually a competent storyteller make a
No. He makes money. His incomplete stories draw people in. And then they don't realize they're being sucked into this scam. His stories. And I don't think he realizes he's being used like that. He just wants to tell these incomplete stories. And Squeenix is like, yes, good. Keep telling your stories. They're just confusing people and drawing them in. And, you know, Squeenix execs love that.
well, let's I can't believe I'm going to use the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a positive example, but like let's compare like the Kingdom Hearts franchise to the MCU. Like
Oh no.
largely, you can just throw on any MCU movie and you don't necessarily have to know everything else that's happened up to that point. I mean, like uh Infinity War and Endgame, they're something else. But
Yeah.
you could throw on the first Avengers and you get enough screen time with the characters that you sort of get to know what they're about, even if you haven't seen their movies leading up to it.
Yeah.
Like, you can throw in, like, even Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and you don't need to have seen the first one to necessarily follow the film.
Yeah.
Like, that's competent storytelling.
Yeah, they're each like self-contained.
Like, and then you get to something like Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which is supposed to be, I think, the second earliest entry in the storyline, right?
Yep, after the phone game.
You can't follow that if you don't know anything about the series. There's just
Yeah.
all this shit happening and you're supposed to follow it. And it's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, actually. all that game does, and all that game really does is complicate things further. Because then it establishes a whole society of Keyblade warriors and shit.
Yeah.
And then it confounds Sora's life. Like, oh, Sora's life is tied to some kid that looks like his other half. Because their hearts are connected.
So then the natural progression would be like, okay, so maybe I should play them in release order to understand what's happening. That doesn't really work either.
No. No. Because then you're playing Kingdom Hearts. You're like, alright, this story's kind of complicated. And then you play Chain of Memories and you're like, well, fuck. How do I keep up with that? And then 2, and then you're like, damn it, there's a whole other class of enemies now, nobodies, and then Birth by Sleep, and it's like, all right, I give up.
I
don't
don't think
even remember
Birth
what
by Sleep
happened.
is even technically the next one in the release order.
No, because there's phone games.
There's like
Those.
358 over 2 and
Oh yeah, and that's really complicated for a mission-based game. That complicates the shit out of things.
oh, and apparently, technically speaking, coded and RE coded are supposed to be separate entities.
No, one's a remake of the other. How did they? Oh, they're doing like Final Fantasy VII. No! Oh, I just scared my cat. Why? How are they different?
I don't know. That's what I was told once, and I'm like, I'll believe anything when it comes to this kind of shit with Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, it's happening in 2020.
Hmm.
It's not like Nomura's grown as a person. So he's just repeating the same shit.
And people just eat it right up.
I'm one of those people, too.
Yep. How many times do you own like the whole series? And you own the PS2 games, right?
Yes.
And I think you have Chain of Memories, right?
Yes.
Yep. Are there any more that you've double dipped on?
Dipping's my thing. I've got 358 over 2 days original. I've got Dream Drop Distance original, Birth by Sleep original. I think I pretty much have 2 of all the games.
Why
And I
not
was
drop
tem-
$100 on the all-in-one collection?
I was tempted to get the collection before the all-in-one collection, so that had these on a PS4 disc. But I was like, you know what? There's no point. Like, because these are the same fucking thing. It's literally just or HD 1.5. These fucking names. It's the 2 PS3 collections literally just slapped together on one disc. Nothing's been changed.
Yep.
Can't upscale those games anymore. They're already at 1080p.
I want them in 4K.
What would happen if you took a PS2 game and put it in 4K? Would your eyes explode?
You'd be able to count each individual polygon.
Would it end up looking like a Sega Saturn game because your eyes are melting?
Yep.
Taking like all that data? Wow, this looks like Panzer Dragoon. less like Kingdom Hearts 3. Alright. I'm glad I paid $400 for this. Because that's what it would be. $400 for the entire Kingdom Hearts 4K collection. It's gonna happen. No, it is. It's totally gonna happen.
Yep.
Because, I mean, is 4K being normalized?
I think so.
And once that happens, that opens a new definition to upscale everything too.
Mm-hmm.
Until the games just look like complete shit.
Yep.
And then you have to remake them.
Like the Mega Man Zero and ZX remaster collection thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they give you default filters over it, so it smooths it out, but it's like they're Game Boy Advance and DS games. Like,
So they end up kind of looking like shit being upscaled.
yeah.
Yeah, actually they do. Game Boy Advance games do not look good being scaled up.
Well, it's because they're designed to be played on a 2 by 3 screen.
Yeah. Their original definition was like 100p. And we're blowing it up to 4,000 something. You know, like, you just took that like 40 fucking times its original definition. What have you
Of course it's
done?
gonna look terrible.
Yeah, like you're cramming pixels in there that don't even know what they're doing together.
Pixels the size of grapefruits.
Oh, it's like taking a person, you're like, I want to make this person giant, so you inject stem cells into them, make them 40 times their size, and the stem cells are like, wait, what are we doing? And they just make this mass. They're like, oh, this is what we're doing with Game Boy Advance games when we try to make them mega HD.
Yep.
And like, you know what I realized that scares me? So, Kingdom Hearts is going to get to the age someday where it's as old as Final Fantasy VII was when it got remade. So we're going to see this whole franchise get remade.
Kingdom Hearts remake.
And it's going to be the same shit. Whispers are going to show up, and as soon as you see a whisper, you're like, oh no. The story's about to veer off, and things are about to change.
Oh, what year did the first Kingdom Hearts come out?
2002, because we were in 9th grade when it came out. I remember all the commercials, and then Chain of Memories commercials having the same music. Because they like to do that.
So that means we're what, like 4 years out from a remake for Kingdom Hearts 1?
That's too close to the remake singularity.
Well, I just figure what Final Fantasy VII was what 98?
I think, yeah. Yeah. What? Man. Was it? It's been 22 years?
Something like that.
And we're closing in on that with Kingdom Hearts. It's not even that I feel old, it's that we're closing in on this remake nightmare that's probably going to happen with Kingdom Hearts. But he's not even done with the story to the original. He'll never finish that story. Maybe he will just remake it. Like,
Well,
you know
I
what?
mean,
fucked
the
up.
story of Final Fantasy VII never got finished either.
What?
Because remember, they can keep just bullshitting and adding more.
Yeah, that's true. Even though Cloud accepted, because I guess Cloud, I don't know, they just randomly decided he feels guilty for like Zack and Aerith's deaths, and that's what the whole point of Advent Children was. But they could still, you know, he could decide he has PTSD still in Advent Children 2. Or
And they need to find another way for Sephiroth to get killed again.
yeah, just another asshole with silver hair shows up. It's like, I'm a remnant of Sephiroth as well. Like, all right. Here, have some Genova cells be completed. Or, conversely, we've remade Final Fantasy VII. Therefore, we remake the movie as well.
Oh, good. Final
Yes.
Fantasy VII Advent Children remake?
Yes. And
Instead
can
of
just
Genova
keep
cells,
doing-
they get Godzilla cells in him.
well, now that's just too crazy.
Oh, is it?
I'm sure we'll
Have
end
you
up
played
with
a
something.
Nomura game before?
They could have Godzilla in a Kingdom Hearts game.
Wouldn't be the first time Godzilla's appeared in a game he has no place being in.
Wait, what's the other one?
What was it? Shinobi 2?
He's in that?
I think so. Him, RoboCop, and Spider-Man.
What the fuck? As themselves or rip-off characters?
The original release, it was just like straight up them, and then the copyright holders were like,
Yeah, I'm sure Toho wanted millions for that. Oh yeah, he was in that. I remember getting to that fight. It was like, is that Godzilla? All I'm seeing are pictures of him without his spines, though.
That's
So it's
because
like,
that's the reissue.
and
Like,
it still looks like Godzilla, though.
oh yeah, later editions they had to like alter the sprites so that they wouldn't get sued to oblivion.
Shinobi 3 looks like it has a Mecha Godzilla that looks more like Godzilla than Mecha Godzilla normally does.
I bet he looks even more like Mechagodzilla than Mechagodzilla in the Netflix series.
Oh.
We still have to do a video on that, don't we?
Yeah, which means I'm gonna have to rewatch them. It's been so long since I have. Sick! Godzilla anime watch party.
Oh
I'll
Christ.
gather around and watch this bullshit.
Could we not?
No, we have to. So we'll know what we're talking about.
What if I just tell you that I remember everything?
No, you don't. There's
No,
so
I
much
don't,
bullshit.
but I don't want to.
Nobody remembers all the stuff in that fucking movie. Or, I mean, that trilogy.
Oh god, it was so
I just remember Ghidorah being an energy creature.
bad.
Never actually coming out as Ghidorah. He's just three snakehead dragon things coming out of black holes.
Yeah, basically.
After three fucking movies building him up. Did they ever resolve the plot of not being able to come back to Earth? Did they just come back to Earth? Don't they all die?
I thought it takes place on Earth.
It does, but they're like, oh, it's not safe to come back because of Godzilla. And at first they thought it was like radiation levels, and everybody's like, no, it's fine. We can breathe. We're okay. There's Mothra people living here too.
Right. And then the first one they kill Godzilla and realize it was only a baby,
Yeah.
and that the actual Godzilla for the next ones is what, like 10 times bigger?
I think he's maybe, I think so. Because right before this, I was watching a video where somebody animated all the Godzillas. It was the evolution of Godzilla breath throughout all of his major design changes, and they were to scale. And when it got to anime Chonker Godzilla, the camera had to pan out considerably to get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made him enormous.
Are we just going to talk about this now?
No, I think this could probably get its own podcast.
It should.
Yeah. This, and I think the Godzilla, or the Marvel movies, to get their own podcast topics. I should make a note of those. Because that's a lot to delve into with each of those, which is sad because the Godzilla anime movies are only 3 of them. And there's so much to get into with that bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah. Bad and badly paced. Shut up, Norton! But yeah, it's a slog watching them. I've never watched all 3 of them together. I'm not looking forward to that.
I watched all 3 like back to back over the course of 3 days just to get ready for a video where we talked about them. That never happened.
It's still on the list.
Is
Involving...
it? Does it have to be?
Yes.
But they're not good.
No, they're not. Not even redeemable in any way.
Are we only going to talk about bad things?
Probably. I mean, we did talk, well, I guess episode 0 was Batman movies.
Which are mostly bad.
Uh-huh. About 80% of them. And then we talked about Avengers Endgame, but that was mostly just joking about. That was actually like a decent movie. And we were just making fun of Captain America's time fuckery.
Time cuckery.
We're gonna like if all we do on this podcast is just dish on things people love, we'll never get fans.
Nope.
We'll just get hate.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, yeah, because people love Nomura games.
They're
And people-
violently fanboys.
Yeah, and then the Godzilla anime movies actually have fans, from what I've seen.
Wasn't the idea that we were gonna talk about the Godzilla Netflix movies and the Ava rebuilds?
No, I think it was gonna reference Evangelion. We were just gonna use an Evangelion to fight Big Chonker Godzilla. I don't think we decided to talk about the rebuilds. We could totally do that.
We should, because those are another thing that the fan base is wildly in favor of, but they bad.
Yeah, which I guess I can see how someone might like them if they don't mind that it follows anime tropes and stuff.
And that it doesn't have anywhere near the heart and soul of the
Yeah.
the anime.
Yeah, they were just trying to make anime movies. That's all that was. That was shameless. That'll be a fun topic.
Would it?
Means I get to rewatch the rebuild movies.
Sounds like you have a lot of homework.
Fuck it, I'm going to Wikipedia. I'm just gonna refresh my memory that way.
What,
Like,
you
oh,
don't
yeah,
want
I
to see the
remember that.
part where Ava 02 turns into a cat again?
Yeah,
Like, why did it do that?
because rage mode. Can't that lady that piloted it and made it do that? Doesn't she have the power to make them do rage modes?
I thought it was just something that was built into the Avas for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
because Shinji made it happen once. So they decided they could all do it.
01 kept going berserk, so they had to. I don't know.
Why are things bad?
Bad times.
Bad times indeed. That's what we'll name this cast. Bad Times Cast. We could save that for the next one.
Yeah, I think we should probably sign out of this one because it's almost like, what, 2 hours long at this point?
Yeah, I'm gonna release it in parts. It's a lot all at
Yeah.
once.
Not much of it is actually focused on the topic.
That's how most of these have been going. All three of them.
Yeah. I haven't watched the Batman one since it came out. That was like 5
Yeah.
years ago.
Not if you ask YouTube. It probably thinks that got uploaded today. Like the DDP video. It thinks we did that on the 27th. I did nothing to it. It's like, oh, you uploaded this on the 27th. What? No, that was in 2015, but okay. I didn't, like, re-upload it or anything, or republish it. Whatever. Can't wait to talk about Evangelion movies. We should do
Dude.
MCU next.
Oh.
Because that I don't need refreshing on. I know enough about that mush. Evangelion and Godzilla, I'll have to do like at least some kind of research to catch back up. I ain't watching that shit all again.
Well, like, for what it is, Evangelion 1.0 It's a pretty solid remake of the first 6 episodes.
Yeah, and I like the whole part where he's running on the buildings to get there faster when they're trying to catch the angel that's crashing down. That was cool. It was like a change I liked.
That was in 2.0.
Asuka wasn't even in the first one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's when. Okay. Well, I guess I'm watching all those again. Cat. Trying to think of something to sign out on. Never end things with anything good. Look at Vector in the background. Oh, you're looking. I'm glad you did. Any closing thoughts?
Nomura Stank.
I was trying to remember the lyrics to Uba Stank song, but nobody does.
I'm not a perfect
I'm
person.
gonna hit stop recording now.
There's many things I wish I didn't do.
like
Play Nomura games.
I was trying to think of a rhyme. I found a reason to hit stop recording.